Hey, good morning, folks, out here at Lindo Lake. Man, I tell you what, it is an absolute beautiful day. And if I got a car for you, absolutely. It is a Lexus, and it is the ES 350. And you can get your ESs in the 250, 350, 300H, 5 trim levels, base, luxury, ultra lux, F Sport, and F Sport handling. So you've got an array of features, bells and whistles. I do have to tell you, all-wheel drive is only available in the F250. So if you live in an area where you think you might need it for the sun and or snow, then yeah, you'll have to rely on the F250. But it's Lexus, and how bad can you go with Lexus? This particular model's got a 3.5-liter V6, puts out about 302 horsepower, no turbo, no supercharger, none of that. 8-speed automatic, front-wheel drive. It's got bi-LED headlights. And what I love, like this morning when I got up to come out, pitch black, hit that turn signal, and a side lamp just lit up the whole left turn area. No street lights where I live, so man, I tell you, those are the kind of headlights I like. Lexus Safety 2.5, go to the website. It'll run down the whole and tell you everything you want to know about that. You've also got 4G, which is really neat, especially if you're working out of your car. And then if you go with the F Sport, now when people think F Sport, they think, oh, wow, this thing's getting, no, it's not what it is. It's power windows, wireless phone charger. It's got intuitive park assist, F Sport suspension, aluminum pedals, kind of makes it that sporty look. You've got 19-inch alloy wheels, and on this particular case, all blacked out. You've got the F Sport bumper grill, rear spoiler, again, all blacked out. The new Lux trim, heated, vented front seats, and heated steering wheel. And you got a Handori aluminum trim. We'll look at that when we get inside. Now, one of the things that I like about this car, and this is what would spoil you and make you add these features, is when you get in the morning, like today, it was 42 degrees when I got in it. As soon as I started it up, the seat heaters went to full bore, the steering wheel went to full bore, and by the time I got to where I was going, it went from 3 bars down to 1 bar, and eventually they turned off. So it just kind of keeps you warm and toasty once it gets there. I like that. I tell you, I got an older, to be honest with you, an older Lexus, an '04. Dude, you freeze from the minute you get in until the minute the heater comes on, and that doesn't help. Here are some of the options that they did throw on the vehicle. Black line package, going to run you about $1,500. Heads-up display, that's $500. And it was interesting. Normally you get into a car with a heads-up display. It's all either on or it's off, and you don't have any control over it. This car, you do. You got a little button on the dash. And it's really great. You just click on it, and the heads-up comes right up. You've got a power rear shade, and when you're backing up no problem. When you're backing up, that rear shade comes down, so your view is not obstructed. You put it back in gear, shade comes back up. What else have we got here? You got a smart card. Not sure what that's about. Oh, that's $100. You got a 12.3 screen, that's about $1,000. Power trunk, $500. 4G is going to cost you $550. Premium paint, $500. And pano view is $835. So basically, you're starting out at $48,500 with this particular model. You can get into them for as low as $42,040. Options, $5225. Getting it here, $1150. So you're looking at $54,875. Fuel mileage, 22 city, 31 highway, 25 combined. I'm getting about 29.8, so I'm pretty happy with it. It's Lexus. What can I say? It's super comfortable. The seats are easy to get in and out of because of the low cushion and the massive door opening. Back seat's a little bit more contained. It's not as one thing about it, you can't fold the seat down flat. So the trunk is a trunk, and you just don't have any more added room in the second row seats, where a lot of times if they allow you to fold the seat backs down, That definitely makes a difference. All right, let's go ahead and take a look a little bit up close and personal with this 2025 Lexus ES 350. Good morning.
No.
Okay, so part of the F Sport is this blacked out grille with this really unusual trim. It's not bright it's not bright chrome. It's kind of a blacked out. I really like it. Accents into the headlights, goes down into the lower grille. This is where all your radar and sensors are all located. Cameras, everything is right here. And then it breezes around with the vents. The wheels are blacked out. You got your little F Sport logo. You got a blacked out rear view mirror with that added chrome to it, which I think really dresses the car up very nicely. Does not have a massive sunroof. It just has your normal small sunroof that you would see on most cars. So not that's an issue. I mean, if you're a sunroof person, then it might bother you a little bit. But let's go ahead and walk and look at the nice flowing lines of this car again. And then this is one of the F Sport features as well. It's that blacked out rear lip, but it's got the chrome outlets, which gives that added touch as well. And then of course you've got, let's see if we got this. Let's see, that's what I like. You don't have to mess with it. And even though it's just a little trunk, it also gives you an automatic closer, which is really nice. Tie downs. But then again, see, you do have a center cut through if you were taking a 2x4 or you want a set of skis, but the seats just don't fold down. Which again, if that's a deal breaker, that's a deal breaker. But you need to be aware of it, that's for sure. Got my famous book, I'm almost done. And then, of course, there's where all your tools, and I like the way they do that. And then you got the styrofoam. And then underneath there is your spare tire. And this comes out if it needs to. But it still gives you places to store items. And then, of course, the simple touch, which I really like. So let's take a look. Let's take a look inside the car. And by the way, this is not a hybrid. It's not a plug-in. It's none of the above. Nice big opening seats. And you've got your automatic seat 1, seat 2. So when you get in and you just push the button, it'll adjust that from one driver to the other. Got all your nice controls. Easy to see, nothing really fancy as far as, or complicated, I should say, not fancy so much. But all your controls are easily accessible. And they did something kind of interesting, and it kind of harkens back to back when Toyota was making the Toyota MR2. They'd put these knobs up on top of the instrument pod, which were for certain items. And if you'll notice, you've got them here too. You got one on this side, and you got one on the other side. And that kind of reminds me of how when MR2 came out with that, we thought, wow, that's kind of a odd place to put them. But actually, they're easily accessible, and I think that's a good deal. So I'm going to slide the seat up a little bit just so we can get the cameraman in the back. There, right? So opens up fairly sized. You've got a center console in the back, and the seats they're almost quasi bucket seats if you really stop and think about it. You know, they're not a bench seat, but they are a bench seat. And you got your cup holders in the middle. But once you get in that passenger seat, it's really kind of like a front seat bucket. Very well done. We'll open this up for maybe a little more lighting. And it's just a manual operated manually operated sunroof. Very quiet inside. You never hear the engine. But what you've got, you got your different little storage spaces. I like the fact the phone charger is right here. You don't have to mess with it. I mean, it just lays right there. And also, a lot of cars will tell you look for your phone before you get out of the car. This one is pretty easy to see. Push button to start. Now, this is kind of one of those where you'll get used to where the button's at, because if you're sitting here looking straight ahead, you can't see the start-stop button. But again, it's something that you'll learn to deal with. Starts up, and then, of course, it goes through all of its calculations and adjustments. Welcome to Toyota Lexus, PR West. Not a problem. Yeah, it shows that my phone's charging up. And then, of course, it's pretty intuitive. You got your music, you got your phone. It's asking you it's syncing the profile, which I didn't do anything with. But you can set it up, your climate, your comfort, trip information, vehicle alerts, which is typical. And then, of course, you've got all of your personal information, Bluetooth, and all that. I don't usually fool with that. I like the clock right here. Real easy to get a hold of. And these things I was telling you about, now we're in Sport S. And then, of course, Sport Plus. Okay, and then if we go back, there's Eco, which, believe it or not, I mean, that's pretty much what I run, is Eco. I mean, it just makes all the sense in the world just to stay in Eco. And then, of course, you got a heads-up display, which is very nice. All your controls are on the steering wheel. You got paddle shifters if you're so inclined. You've got all your cruise control and rear cruise control and wipers, auto headlights. But it doesn't have auto high-low, which I was a little surprised. But again, not the end of the world. It's got all your controls down here, and these are where I was telling you about. See, these are all set on automatic for heat and cool. And then if I touch the steering wheel, now that's set automatic, so I won't even have to fool with it. And then, of course, you've got your controls for radio, media, and if you got a seek, if you've got, maybe you got a particular, your iPod or something to that effect, it'll help you walk through there. Nice knobs, just turn them up and down. Tune with the back knob, and you volume with the front knob. And of course, you got your nice vents, which you can super easy to shut off. They make the car extremely easy to drive, operate, and go from point A to point B. Of course, you've got my little favorite part, just for strictly ventilation. Then again, you got it down as well. And then, of course, there's your opening. That's about as far as you get. Nothing. They don't do much for the rear passenger. Your phone speakers are here for both passenger and driver. Then, of course, that's a pretty good light, even during broad daylight. But the key to this car is driving it, because, man, I tell you what, it drives very well. Again, you've got controls here that you can move around on the dash. Tells you what my MPG now is 28.5, and it'll move that over, so you'll have more like vehicle settings. And you have the main settings, like it shows the rear passenger doors open, and then of course you can pull that back, and you can turn things on, off. And then let's see here. Push that back over, and that pretty much sets it up the way you like. It's got your temperatures. Sometimes people will complain that the numbers are a little on the small side, but I haven't had a problem, truly, with it at all. So that's the inside, and I'm telling you, it's really comfortable. Very comfortable. So let's go ahead and climb out and finish up this thing, 'cause it crushes my camera. Okay, so there she be, 2025 Lexus ES350. You can get them at the dealership as we speak. And remember, if you're into all-wheel drive, and and all-wheel drive is very important to you, then the ES250 is going to be the only way to get it. This in 25, not as much horsepower, but good fuel mileage. And the 300 will get you over 40 miles per gallon because it's a hybrid. All right, that's Dave Stahl down here at Lindo Lake. Make sure you come back to Lindo Lake with us next week and a few more weeks on, because you don't know what we're going to bring. And be safe, drive careful. We'll talk to you down the road.